Now, All Gold Everything. How did that come about? And when you were creating that song, did you know it was gonna? Do you have an inclination that it'll up to be as big a song as it was?
Um, no, no. I don't then, and I still don't now. I don't make music to make money. I make music because it's what I want to say, and if I make money from it, then thank the man upstairs. We're doing all go everything was just from an honest place. It was a product of my environment. I was working a job at the time, hustling in the streets at the time, selling shoes at the time. You know what I'm saying? Styling celebrities, DJs, artists. I was doing it all, and it was just another. It was just I was worked at the Waffle House prior to working in the clothing store, being a stylist. That song just kind of spoke for all. It spoke to the streets. Like that was a song on my first project that I wanted to truly speak to the streets with.
Now, how did it start? Did it start on YouTube? Did it start on the radio? Where was like the first place it started picking up steam?
I mean, it really picked up steam when the blogs got a hold of it. Like Fader put gas behind it.
Mhm.
Live mixtapes, they put gas behind it. These are people that picked up on it early that made a difference to people that like made people like, oh, who's this? You know what I'm saying? But the first place I ever dropped it was SoundCloud, and for like a month, nobody ever like paid any real attention to it. It probably didn't even have over 100 streams.
Mm. Talk about the wave that it was on, because you go, I think I left the nightclub industry probably 3 years ago now. And the day I left, that song's still playing in the club. And it's still playing in the club to this day. Obviously, with COVID-19, nothing's playing, but it's still ringing in the club. Talk about the wave. Once it got hot, that wave you're on, and the experiences you went through with the success of the song.
I mean, you learn a lot fast. I did basically a college course in the industry. It all happened right then and there. You know what I'm saying? Like things that people grow up like having to like practice and do. I had to figure it out on the spot consistently. You know what I'm saying? Whether I was wrong or right in whatever I was doing, I just had to figure it out. And so it was like really like it felt like a college course, like a quick college course at that.
Now, Def Jam. How did this come about? Obviously, the song All Gold Everything picked up, and then Def Jam reached out to you. Can you take us through that whole process and what that was like being signed to Def Jam?
I mean, it's just like any label. When is the way that my success happened. It really set the tone for like how you see success happening now because the term viral did not exist in hip hop, especially prior to all of everything. Obviously, people was popping. Numerous people were popping or whatever, but those were old traditional ways. When I came about, the way that labels found out about artists and what interested them and piqued them more, I changed the waveform because it was like a viral sensation type of feel, polarizing. Who is this person? Who does he know? What is this? What is this imagery? What is this beat? What is this sound? Where is he from? It was so many different things, those. So every label wanted to be a part of what I put into the world. It's classic material, classic art. At the end of the day, that's why it still lasts. I mean, I've never asked anybody to play my music. They played it, you know what I'm saying? They played it because they wanted to. I asked somebody to play my project. I never tell anybody to play a certain song because I want you to listen to my project. I'm not making a project for you to listen to one song, but that's how people listen to music. So, what you gravitate to, that's what you love. And the same thing with the labels. I would ever, like, everybody came, to understand or wanted to be a part of what I had going on. I would ever, especially because of All Go Everything. So, Def Jam, uh, the people that were involved the people that were involved at the time, it 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 to me at the time it made sense. You know what I'm saying? Because I wouldn't. It's not much you would know. I'm coming straight out the streets, straight out of a different world into this world of the industry of like the type of success that I came in early with. You know what I'm saying? There's like I'm doing shows in Houston with Drake and Two Chains. You know what I'm saying? It's just like a different ball game the way I came into the game. I skipped mad steps or whatever. So with that being said and understood, it was just kind of like, everything perfect per se, not necessarily, but what is perfect? You got to learn somehow.
Right. You talked about the overnight success. You talk about getting into the game late. Did you take any criticism or any backlash in Atlanta in particular? Because it's such a heavy competitive field in the rap game, and people take it serious. And not that you didn't, but they take it serious early on, very early on, and you grab success fairly late in the game. How did the love or the hate was received in Atlanta at that time?
I mean, it's typical. It's like at this point in time, it's like cliche. I mean, even having this conversation, like these are conversations that I really haven't had in years because I don't think about the past. I kind of live. I'm progressive. I'm more of a progressive thinker and mover. But it's the same things that everybody. People gonna always be like, wonder why you're successful and they're not. You know what I'm saying? When they worked harder in their mind than I did. You know what I'm saying? Like I worked very hard to get my success. I just, like I said, I skipped the steps that I didn't need.
Yeah.
I'd rather learn those steps or figure those steps out while I'm being successful. I would ever do those steps with a bag or whatever. A lot of times is people don't realize that you do need money in order for your place to make more sense. That's
Hmm.
just business. That ain't personal. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people take a lot of things in this industry personal or whatever, and that's not gonna really get you nowhere. You know what I'm saying?
Now, what happened with the you were there at Jeff Dam, then you left within a few years. Did you want to leave, or it was a case where they just wanted to cut ties with you?
It was me reaching out to them first, but at the same time, me reaching out to them first to be let go from the label, that would come from me feeling like I wasn't a part of that team, so it
Mhm.
didn't make sense. You know what I'm saying? But nobody was saying nothing or whatever, so I kind of just was like, I'm not really big on elephants in the room or whatever. It's like I'd rather address it and we get past it. I'll do whatever you feel, get it off your chest, do whatever you gotta do, and get past it. So I got my people to reach out to them, and request to be released, and it took a while or whatever, but they did.
Talk about business outside of the music because a lot of rappers, not a lot, but a few rappers that I really appreciate, you, Chameleonaire, being a few of them, that transition outside of the rap game and find a business outside and become real successful outside of what people on that don't really know go, okay, yeah, they fell off the music, but on the contrary, no, I'm actually winning on a different level. Can you talk about that transition business wise and when you realized, okay, I'm gonna take these eggs and put it in this basket, in this basket, in this basket, and really make this shit happen.
Well, I mean, just really at the end of the day, bro, like the reason why you don't see a lot of people jump in to do other business venues or ventures, should I say, is because if you really love music, bro, you don't want to do nothing else. It's
Mm.
one of the most amazing things ever invented. It's very time consuming. It's a drug. It's addictive. Just like people love to listen, real artists love to make music. And when you make something and it's successful, you don't want to do nothing else. Like you don't want to do none of that. Like you don't want to waste time per se trying to figure out how to grow a farm or you know what I'm saying. Like because it really is that mindset of like it's very time consuming to be a great artist or a great rapper per se or musician. It really consumes your whole life. So it's like a lot of people give artists flack for not jumping into things outside of what they do, which don't get it wrong, it is very smart. And I advise people to do it if it makes sense to you. But I
Mhm.
do understand why people don't do it or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Because I know how much time it took for me to even feel as confident as I am in the music that I do. Or whatever, I dedicate everything to just entertainment, period. It's bigger than music for me. It's like more into entertainment. That kind of worked into my favor. That's why I jumped into acting and doing movies and writing for people and just everything that came with entertainment so that it didn't keep me close to music or whatever. Like, of course, I've jumped into other ventures, like invested in like Wingstop and shit like that or whatever, you know what I'm saying? But that is just things that the people brought those plays my way or whatever. Me being honest, I didn't go looking for those because I'm focused on the craft. I'm focused on being one of the best entertainers. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's acknowledged while I'm alive or acknowledged when I'm dead. whenever you look me up, because at the end of the day, I realize it only matters for the people who come check for me or whatever. Like that's the people who truly, truly matter. And that's what's gonna make the biggest difference. When 50 years, 100 years from now, shoot, who knows? I might still be alive. I might live forever. Ain't no telling. That's how I look at life, or
Mm.
whatever. But if I'm not here, what I'm saying, if my name pop up in some type of way, whether you heard it through a Bruno Mars song, 50 years from now, you go do your research or whatever, you see where this Uptown Funk came from, or whatever. However, my name pop up,
Mm.
that's when somebody gonna go look at what you do and what you did, because that's how we research music. That's how you research something. Like, damn, what's that sample that Kanye used, or whatever? Then you find out, like, oh, damn, blood on the trees or blood on the leaves, or whatever is a Nina Simone sample. And you find out how amazing Nina Simone is, or
Mhm.
whatever. And like sometimes you got to be the reference in life, or whatever. You can't be the star always, or whatever. So, and that's what a part of being your legacy is doing. Like you got to drop and plant seeds and everything. You know what I'm saying? For what you love, not what other people think is smart or whatever. Like I don't care about what nobody else thinks. I would ever like I don't care at all. Like I don't even listen to nobody. I would ever like I hear everybody and I respect your opinion because I appreciate it, especially if it's coming from love or
Mm.
whatever. But at the end of the day, you got to do what's best for you or whatever. And I know, and the reason I speak that way is because I know how much time it really takes to like really hone in on your craft and be really good at it. You know what I'm saying? So that's why it's important. What I tell somebody is to have good teammates around them and team members of their team who will go find those investments for you, those outside ventures. Like, hey man, folks, stay focused on your craft, but hey, what you got to throw some money into this Apple stock or throw some money into Tesla or whatever, you know what I'm saying, because they booming or whatever, you know what I'm saying. But a real artist stays focused on the craft, bro. Ain't got no time for that other shit.